There's been some pressure from Qatar, Egypt, the States, but it's not really clear if any actual sit-down talks have happened to figure out what a second phase will look like. Technically, the second phase is when everyone, sort of decides how Israel fully withdraws its troops from Gaza and everyone makes a commitment to end the war. Israel says it's expecting the U.S. Special Envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, this week. He helped broker this first phase, and he's supposed to push the talks forward. There's also been talk of Israel wanting an extension of this first phase to get more hostages out. But nothing is set in stone yet. Look, Hamas doesn't want the war to start up so it can take a break, perhaps rebuild. And Israel doesn't want the war to start up to bring home the rest of the hostages. So it's all still a very precarious time.
NPR's Hadil Al-Shalfi in Tel Aviv. Hadil, thank you.
You're welcome.
It's Morning Edition from NPR News. I'm Michelle Martin.
And I'm A. Martinez.
Sponsoring WNYC means reaching hundreds of thousands of engaged and discerning listeners who've made our shows part of their daily routine. Find more on sharing your business message with WNYC's unique audience at wnyc.org/sponsorship.
It is mid-40s right now with clouds out there and occasional rain. Watch out for some coastal flooding in southern Queens. Showers likely by midday with a high near 56 and gusty. So warm once again, going to feel like springtime. And then tomorrow, a slight cooling off, sunny in upper 40s and gusty. It's 6:53.
The AI world according to NVIDIA.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Bitwarden Password Manager for Business, designed to make the most out of 2025 IT budgets to ensure long-term enterprise security success. Learn more at bitwarden.com.
I'm David Brancaccio. NVIDIA is a key company at the heart of this emerging artificial intelligence revolution. It made microprocessors for computer gaming that turned out to be great to grind out AI. Its quarterly results are in, the first that reflect the realization that DeepSeek of China had come up with a workable AI system that uses a lot fewer microchips. But NVIDIA is insisting there's still plenty of room for its business to grow. Marketplace's Nova Safo reports.
NVIDIA is forecasting that its sales will increase in the next quarter to about $43 billion. The company also has profit margins of more than 70%, although it expects them to narrow slightly as it spends more to produce its new advanced chips called Blackwell. Those chips are selling briskly despite China showing AI efficiency advancements through a model called DeepSeek. That's because more advanced AI systems are coming and they'll need computing power. Still, the news about profit margins and profit and sales numbers that were not as stellar as previous results left investors somewhat lukewarm. That's because NVIDIA has set a huge standard for itself. A primary beneficiary of the AI boom, its shares have risen nearly 2,000% in 5 years. Its stock price took a tumble after DeepSeek came out and has yet to recover to its previous high. I'm Nova Safo for Marketplace.
In pre-market trading now, NVIDIA's stock is up some 0.9%. Rival ASML of the Netherlands is down 0.2%. Intel up more than 1% now at pre-market. Dow and NASDAQ futures are up 0.6%. S&P futures up 0.3%. While the number of people filing for unemployment benefits has been fairly steady, layoffs in recent months go well beyond the federal workers being targeted by the Government Efficiency Advisory Group out of Washington. Among the private companies that have announced layoffs of 1,000 people or more, Chevron, Facebook, Meta, Starbucks, Southwest Airlines, and many more. Marketplace's Mitchell Hartman reports.
Overall, the job market is still pretty strong, but Andy Challenger at outplacement firm Challenger Gray & Christmas is bracing for worse to come.
We expect a lot more job cuts because of conversations I'm having with companies. I'm hiring like crazy.
Sad but true, the firm's busier when a lot of newly laid off workers need help finding jobs. Challenger says the tech and housing sectors have been gradually downsizing, but now
I'm starting to see a much wider array of industries beginning job cuts. Companies revise downward their growth outlooks. getting leaner, getting more cost effective.
Americans are getting more pessimistic, says Stephanie Guichard at the Conference Board, with fewer people saying it'll be easy to find a job in the future. But
we don't see people being worried about losing their jobs. Sentiment about future income is still positive.
And, says Andy Challenger,
even though there are lots of layoffs in the news, also from the public sector in a way that we haven't really ever seen, I wouldn't be too depressed or dismayed about the job market.
With unemployment at a still very low 4%. I'm Mitchell Hartman for Marketplace.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Schwab. Schwab offers investors choices like full-service wealth management, self-directed investing options, and trading on Thinkorswim. More at schwab.com.
Among so many who mobilized to help neighbors deal with the terrible Southern California wildfires, immigrant day laborers who volunteer their time to clear wreckage and other fire debris under the auspices of the Pasadena Community Job Center. The center is run by the National Day Laborer Organizing Network, which during normal times works to help people find paid jobs. Now, given the disruption of people and businesses because of the fires, paid jobs can be harder to find in and around the fire zones. Now, here's the story of one laborer turned volunteer.
Mi nombre es César. Yo soy trabajador jornalero.
My name is Cesar. I am a day laborer. I mostly do landscaping, construction, and painting. All of this started because we were seeing that many of our employers had lost their properties. Now I am affected because I will not have a job for a long time. For me, it has been a real satisfaction to be able to help these people. I have received training for cases of natural disasters and certified by OSHA. We went to bring hot food to people who didn't want to leave their homes because they thought they were going to be robbed. These houses had no electricity and no water. We were bringing hot food. My friends knocked on the door and an elderly person came out. When I saw this person, I could see his expression, how psychologically affected he looked. And I could tell that he was a Hispanic person. I started to speak to him in Spanish to make him feel better. I could see his emotions when he heard the language, and he felt a little more comfortable. I could see the emotion on his face. My friends offered him food. He really didn't want food. He wanted to get everything out that he had on the inside, to have a conversation with someone since he felt alone. I felt very pleased, and that night I went home calmly and happy because I knew that my work was doing something good. I feel very good as an immigrant, and I believe that immigrants are an important part of the United States. The immigrant workforce is important because we work and many of us pay taxes when we buy things. We pay a tax that is never reimbursed to us.
We withheld Cesar's name over privacy concerns. The National Day Laborer Organizing Network is pushing to help more workers like Cesar get authorization from federal job safety regulators, OSHA, which could open the door to more jobs. We also hear about what the fire did to Cesar's family finances, marketplace.org, if you missed that on the air. English voiceover in that piece by our own Juan Carlos Torrado. I'm David Brancaccio, Marketplace Morning Report. From APM, American Public Media.
WNYC support